When I saw the towers fall, I actually thought that was it, since I hadn't heard from Harry, and even an hour later hadn't heard from him. I really didn't expect any good news, but we kept waiting, and around 12:30 I got a call from the nurse in the hospital who said, "I have your husband here." And I just screamed, "You have my husband? Is he alive?" And she said, "Yes," and she said, "He's burned."
Most of the doctors were basically talking about, if he makes another 48 hours, we're over a hurdle. If he makes another 72 hours, we're over a hurdle. And these hurdles never seem to go away.
He had damage to his lungs. The burns were his arms, his hands, they were burned down to the tendons. His knees were also burned. His whole face was burned. So he had a number of operations. He got one infection after another. He was on a respirator. He couldn't breathe on his own for those 2 months.
It's very difficult to wake up, find yourself in a hospital bed, pretty well immobile, unable to talk. My hands were all bandaged, my legs were bandaged. I literally could not scratch my nose.
I wouldn't let the kids see him because I didn't know, and I didn't want them to see him like that. And so they did these audio tapes, and the kids every day would tape, you know, it would be as simple as, "Hi Dad, I got an A on my math test. I love you, I miss you, I hope you're feeling better," you know, but something each day.
Karen and the children were with the driving force. I wanted to be there for them. I was badly burned on the hands. My burns were all 3rd degree, down to the tendon. And when that happens, what you have is powerful, deep scar tissue that doesn't want to move. And so what they did was come in, take fingers that didn't want to bend, and bend them. And it's painful. You can't let them stop. You need this, and yet inside you just want to scream.
Karen, who was a trust and estate attorney, was really unable to work at all. You really lost 2 income earners at one time. You lost Harry because he was disabled, and you lost Karen because the most important thing in her world was to be by Harry's side. Karen was not going to spend any time at her office when she didn't know if she had one more day with her husband, one more hour, one more week, or not. The reality is, the reason both of us were working is because we needed both incomes. So it was absolutely a lifesaver being able to say, we've got the disability coming in, and I don't have to worry about leaving Harry and not being at home for the kids. The income from Harry's disability insurance policies was there not only to replace lost income from Harry, but also lost income from Karen. And it was an amount at least somewhat close to what their fixed living expenses were, so that they continue to pay their mortgage and pay for their kids' education and stay in the same lifestyle that they've grown accustomed to. A letter went out to Harry saying that his premiums on his life insurance policies were going to be waived, and the whole life policy is going to continue to be paid, and the waiver of premium benefit on this particular term insurance policy would allow Harry to convert that term insurance policy to a permanent product with cash values.
You can't just rely on the things that you think are going to happen, but you have to prepare for the things that you badly hope will never happen. There's always that feeling. We all feel immortal. We're all going to live forever. And we know it's not true, and yet we sometimes act that way. And we need somebody to remind us of some of the realities of life.
Is he the happiest guy out there? You know, probably not, but he's certainly happier being alive in whatever condition that he is, being a fighter, being a survivor. He feels capable enough physically to go back to his old firm 2 days a week. He really didn't want to stay at home and feel sorry for himself. It's not only in purchasing the policy that having someone like Mike as a financial advisor, that it's so helpful, but it's also when you need it,
When you really need it, you need someone who knows what they're talking about, because your mind is on something else. Whether it's a disability or a death, you can't focus on those financial issues. You want to be able to say, let me deal with the emotional issues, let me deal with my family, and Mike, I know, will deal with the financial issues.